Welcome to the 13th episode of Calling an Audible. I'm Greg Johnson along with my co-host Zach Greenberg, and today we're going to focus on some NBA news, the NFL, NHL, and MLB. And as we particularly focus on national, regional, and local sport news with their own twists and opinions, we'll definitely be talking more about some regional and local news today. But with that, we're going to go straight to the NBA, and D'Lo Russell has been in the news because he has been recently cited for marijuana possession at LaGuardia. The story behind that is he brought in a Arizona tea can, and in a secret compartment within that can, security and TSA agents found marijuana stashed.
My whole thing is what you can't take liquids on a plane. When you're going on a plane, they make you dump everything out, or if you have a water bottle, they make you chug it. So why of all things to try and bring through security, you bring something that had liquid in it? It makes no sense to me. I feel like he would have been better off just throwing it in a bag, in a Ziploc, in his suitcase, and he would have been fine. But
he probably had better chances putting it in like a little Ziploc bag, like you said, but putting a masking tape sticker on there and with Sharpie writing "not weed" on it.
Writing oregano.
Potpourri.
Special spices.
Authentic East Indian spice. But yeah, I don't understand what some people think. I don't know of anyone that's ever gotten illegal drugs past TSA.
Oh, and the thing is, this guy is worth millions of dollars. He has any connection he wants wherever he goes. Why can't he just go pick up his drugs in whatever city he's flying to? Like, why does he have to bring them with him? Like, it's not that difficult. You're a professional basketball player. You can get the stuff when you want to get the stuff.
I guess that one was very important to him, and he needed it on the plane.
Yeah.
I guess
it was special oregano.
I guess he wanted to join a different Mile High club, but, that you can only understand people if you're them, and
yeah.
I don't know how this is going to affect D'Angelo Russell going forward.
I mean,
obviously the NBA and the NFL are not on the same drug policy.
Yeah, no, the NBA doesn't really...
They're not as... they're not more slap strict on the wrist, if anything.
They're not going to suspend you for whole years like the NFL did with Josh Gordon.
But at the end of the day, I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
And then news out of Boston is...
And Milwaukee.
But going first to the Danny Ainge situation, he recently had a small heart attack, and let's put it this way, Boston's a little concerned about that one.
Yeah, he is getting up there in age, and it was on the road while they were playing in Milwaukee. So it's I don't know. Apparently he's going to be okay, so that's good to hear. But a little bit of a scary situation.
I mean, he is for the most part the genius behind the Celtics rebuild.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's what he's done for that franchise after, pretty much a couple years of nothing.
Yeah, they were terrible for a couple years.
I mean, that was the last time Isaiah Thomas was good, was when he was with them. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's always that. But we're going to briefly overlook best wishes to Danny Ainge and speedy recovery, of course. But we're going to look at the NBA playoffs as they are now. Not too surprisingly, the Warriors are up on the Rockets 2-0 in the series. What is surprising, though, is the Raptors are down 1-2 to the 76ers.
Yeah, it's Joel Embiid went crazy yesterday. He had 33 points in 28 minutes, and he was just... I was watching the game last night. I was at Tavern United in Grand Forks, and I was not very pleased while I was watching it, but... I think they'll be, if they can win Game 4 in Philadelphia, I think that they've got a good chance of pulling it out in 7. But Philadelphia is a very good team, so the East is very competitive this year.
Absolutely. And the Nuggets and Trailblazers themselves are tied 1-1, as well as the Bucks and Celtics, who after the Celtics beat the Bucks handedly in Game 1, the Bucks came back and did the same in return in Game 2. So I'm curious to see how Game 3 is going to work out with the Bucks being at home.
I think it'll be a lot closer game.
No, I take that back. The Celtics are at home, I think.
Yeah, the Celtics are home.
Yep.
No, the Bucks.
Nope, Celtics are home.
Yeah, for Game 3?
For Game 3. Game 3 and 4, the Celtics are home. Yeah. But, I don't know. I think that's going to be, can Giannis beat Boston is really what it boils down to. Boston's a deeper team. They have more stars, obviously.
They absolutely do, but
the thing that Bucks have is when Giannis isn't on the ball, they just have a bunch of perimeter shooters, really.
yeah, but he's just so good when he has the ball in his hands, and that's just it comes with everything, like from offense to defense. No matter what he's doing on the court, like he's a mismatch against anybody. So
It's just unbelievable. You got a 6'10" point guard, and you can't really stop him.
If I'm the Raptors, my team, obviously, I would definitely rather see, even though Milwaukee's the higher seed, I definitely would rather see Milwaukee in the Eastern Conference Final if they can somehow pull out a victory against Philadelphia. So, but no matter who comes out of the East is going to lose to the Warriors anyway. So there's really no use talking about it. But
I don't know. I mean, I think the Warriors can be beat, but
by who?
Well, the Bucks could do it.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Celtics have the best chance?
No.
The Celtics don't even have a chance.
Nobody has a chance.
Nobody?
No.
Even if Toronto made it all the way?
No.
No.
Not a chance. I think whoever they play, they're going to win in 6.
In 6?
6 at the most.
At the most.
They might win in 5.
So you're saying the Warriors are going to lose at least one game in the finals?
Yeah, probably. I could see them dropping one. Just they'll probably take a night off to relax and then be like, oh, let's just destroy them the next game. Yeah, we don't need to. They're not saying that, oh, we need to sweep them. Because the bottom line is nobody's beating the Warriors 4 times in 2 weeks. Like, that's just too long of a period of time to beat a team that good. So,
yeah, fair enough.
I mean, that's just what I think about it.
That's fair.
It's the dynasty. They're the Patriots of basketball.
Ooh, that's bold. But
will be.
I could see that happening.
They already got 3, don't they?
3 and 5, I believe.
Yeah.
But eventually they'll probably be in the same ballpark, but they're not considered the Bulls yet.
No, definitely not. I don't know if they ever will be. That was 6 in a row.
Exactly. But we're going to move on to the NFL. And, there's some controversy with the Giants pick of Daniel Jones over Dwayne Haskins. And it's almost a reoccurring theme that every year there's at least a couple NFL players that say, oh, this team gone done messed up and I have a chip on my shoulder and this and that. And I kind of see that every year, and this year's Dwayne Haskins, where he got picked underneath. I believe the Redskins picked him up a few picks after the Daniel Jones pick. But with that being said, do you have any reason why the Giants would have picked Daniel Jones over Dwayne Haskins when these stats showed that Dwayne Haskins was significantly better?
My issue isn't with the Daniel Jones pick. My issue is with the timing of the pick. The Giants also had pick 30 in this year's draft when they traded with the Packers. But they definitely could have got Daniel Jones at pick 30 because that... I think Daniel Jones is definitely a better scheme fit for Pat Shurmur's offense. Pat Shurmur's a West Coast offense type of coach, and Daniel Jones is a West Coast offense player, and that's like focused on like high percentage passing, stuff like that, and that's what Daniel Jones is good at. So I think the scheme fit is good for the Giants, but I think they could have waited or traded down to get him because he wasn't being picked at number 6. He probably, other than for the Giants, he wouldn't have been picked before Dwayne Haskins, I think. So
that we know of.
Yeah. We obviously
we don't have any
that,
insider information.
Yeah, but based on all the facts and based on what all the scouting reports said, like Dwayne Haskins was supposed to go first, but I can see why the Giants wanted Daniel Jones instead. And I think that the Giants are probably going to sit Daniel Jones for a couple years while Eli.
You think Eli's got a couple years left?
I think Eli might have 2 or 3 years left. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like Eli Manning. I've met him in person. He's a great guy, so that's probably why I like him so much.
Fair enough.
And he's had a great career in the past. The last couple years have been rocky, and he's 39, I think, or maybe even 40 now.
He's up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's gonna want to play for a couple more years, just like his big brother did, and he'll go out like that. Manager. And maybe Daniel Jones will come in and be like Aaron Rodgers.
That's very optimistic thinking. I'm sure the entire New York Giants fan base supports you in that.
Yeah.
Or if they're not, they're just scratching their head trying to figure out, like, oh, great, another loony on the wagon. But I don't know. Is there any other surprising picks in the draft you found or heard of?
No, other than that, no, I don't. I don't really think anything else was very surprising. I was very happy with the Packers pick and Rashawn Gary.
That's a scary pick.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that.
He is a complete monster, and he is just going to.
That's basically Clay Matthews' replacement.
Yeah, he might make Clay in 5 or 10 years. We might be looking at him like, wow,
What a smart pick.
Did what, and he took Clay. He's going to fill in for Clay Matthews quite nicely. Like, Clay Matthews was old and one of my favorite players ever, but it was his time to go, and now he's in LA where he's probably more needed in LA, to be honest, because after the free agency we had, we just don't need him anymore.
There's so many people that just go to LA now. It's really funny. But I'm really happy, though, to report that the Vikings drafted 4 offensive players in their first 4 picks.
And then a long snapper in round 7, if I add.
That one still baffles me to this day. But, with that being said, it's just like, the Vikings pick good players. They have a proven track record of quality draft picks that turn into something.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was really had a low-key thought that they're definitely going to grab a cornerback within one of their first 4 picks, like they do every year. Because I heard they're shopping Xavier Rhodes and Trey Waynes around, so...
I love Trey Waynes. But
they're all great humans.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I'm really happy that they drafted Garrett Bradbury with the 18th pick. That one got a lot of reviews on the positive side. So I'm happy to see that. And, I think the Vikings made a bunch of good picks, especially with their second-round pick. I think that was a good one, too. But... Irv Smith out of Alabama. I'm assuming that's going to be Kyle Rudolph's replacement within a couple of years if they don't cut Kyle Rudolph because he's such a huge cap hit. But then again, I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do with him.
Yeah.
Maybe more of a leadership role.
I think you guys should be worried about us next year because the biggest threat to any team in the NFL is
a healthy Aaron
Rodgers with a good defense, and I think that's what we have now. We got our pass rushers. We re-signed our nose tackle. We picked up our safety. Our corners might still be a little bit shaky, but we'll be all right, I think, on defense this year.
My favorite quote from any Packers fan I've ever met is, "Oh, you guys better be scared of us Packers this year."
Yeah. And it's
they
the truth.
Say it every year.
In 2019, it will be the truth. And in 2020, when we make the Super Bowl, it'll be the truth.
It'll be the truth.
It will always be the truth.
They could have a team with just a schoolyard recess pick, Aaron Rodgers the quarterback. Oh, you better be afraid of us.
You should be. You absolutely
Aaron Rodgers
should be.
And a bunch of 10-year-olds are going to win the Super Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers is going to make them good. He's going to make those 10-year-olds dunk on some corners for touchdowns.
I love how you guys are so optimistic, but... that's good. That means you have a loyal, supportive fan base, and not every franchise can say that.
Speaking of the Packers, though, there was just announced that there's going to be a Packers versus Raiders preseason game in my hometown of Winnipeg.
Feel sorry for you guys.
And I am so excited. I'm going to be one of the first people to buy a ticket to that game. I've been to Lambeau, but I've never been to a Packers game. I'll be at a preseason game. It'll still be a special moment for me in my life to get to see that.
Are you going to wear completely all green?
I'm going to wear my Brett Favre jersey from when I was...
the Vikings Brett Favre jersey,
No, not
right?
the Vikings Brett Favre jersey. I have one of those, but not the Vikings Brett Favre jersey.
I do too, and it's my prized possession.
I have a Packers one, a Jets one, and a Vikings one, and I'm looking for a Falcons one because that's where he started his career.
But
I'm still yet to find one.
You would have to make that.
I feel like they have them on like eBay or Kijiji or whatever those websites are.
They probably do, but you're going to have to do some real digging.
Yeah, and they're probably going to be pretty expensive for that too because it's...
He's already in the Hall of Fame. You're going to have to pay a pretty penny.
Well, once I'm rich, I'm going to be getting that jersey.
Right, exactly.
For my man cave.
Every man needs a man cave. And if you're going to hang all... Did you get the New York Jets Brett Favre jersey yet?
Yeah, I have it.
You have that too?
Yeah, I have it too.
So you just need all 4...
Yeah,
how ironic,
I was
Brett Favre number 4 with 4 teams.
Big Brett Favre follower my whole life, to this day.
So, if you hang all those jerseys in order, then you're fine.
Yep.
But we're going to jump to the NHL playoffs real quick here.
Jets are out.
Jets are out. Hooray. Now,
no, not hooray.
Now, as a Wild fan, I don't feel too bad because this was the year Zach Greenberg said the Jets are going to win.
Yep.
Does any of you viewers notice how Greenberg is so optimistic about every sports team?
Hey, I said in my defense, I said the Jets were going to lose in the finals, but
Well,
they lost way earlier than they should have. So I'll admit I was wrong about that.
fair enough. But I'm just really salty. My Stanley Cup pick is currently down 3-0 to
3-0.
Carolina.
Yep, Carolina is looking hot.
I suppose when you beat the defending champs, you're just going to go on a tear in the playoffs.
Yep.
But, you know,
Yeah, this NHL playoffs has been crazy. Like
Upside down.
all the top seeds out.
and then
you
you
know-
have all the middle seeds going 2-2 in their series. The Stars, the Blues, the Sharks and Avalanche, and Bruins and Blue Jackets.
Boston tied it up yesterday.
tied up 4-1. Who, interesting note, Charlie Coyle decided to play playoff hockey now ever since he got traded to Boston. That really irks me as a Wild fan because we couldn't get him to find the back of the net.
No, it's not on Coyle. It's just on the fact that you guys are cursed.
I mean, let's look at the Wild as a team standpoint. They don't have a true playmaker. And, well, Granlund was their true playmaker, but he couldn't shoot, so he's really always just being covered in the pass. They don't have an actual scorer.
Yeah, you needed a goal scorer.
And that would probably take off a load of pressure from everyone else and probably open up chances for everyone else. But until we get a true sniper, we have nothing to be scaring teams with.
So are you still on your Islanders pick to win, down 3-0?
I believe.
You believe they're going to win it in 7?
Yep.
Wow.
If the Hurricanes could beat the Caps in 7, I think the Islanders can come back and beat the Hurricanes. But that'll remain to be seen because how funny would it be to sweep then be swept?
Yeah, it would be. But I'm officially announcing that I'm hopping on the Boston Bruins bandwagon for the
Ew.
remainder of the playoffs.
Ew.
Growing
Just
up,
kidding. I was at Boston. I'm a huge supporter of that one. So.
yeah, growing up, I like the Ducks only, and then my second favorite team was always the Bruins, and then the Jets came around, so I kind of like stopped messing with the Bruins as much, and I just kind of focused on the Jets and the Ducks. But now that both the Ducks are terrible, and now that the Jets are out, might
Now
as
you
well
have no one else to root for.
throw my support to Boston for the rest of the playoffs.
At
But
least it wasn't St. Louis or Dallas. I'd have actually left the room.
yeah, no, I would never throw my support to either of those teams.
Just awful.
ever.
Colorado, maybe.
Yeah.
I as much as I say I hate Colorado, I do kind of like them as a team, mainly because I don't want to see San Jose do anything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I hope the Islanders can come back. The Hurricanes are going to be tough to beat. The only reason why I like the Hurricanes in this is because Nino Niederreiter, who is doing really well for them, and the fact they have Justin Falk, who is a UMD hockey player, just racking up the minutes on the D line for Carolina. So that's pretty cool. But Zach, we're going to move on to some MLB news here quick. And I just want to note that the Twins are currently the best team in the MLB right now in terms of winning percentage.
It's early.
It's early, but you heard it here.
Yep.
Twins are the best team in the MLB in terms of winning percentage.
Yep.
So I might not be able to say that again for the rest of the season. So one more time, the Twins are the best team in the MLB in terms of winning percentage.
I'll let you have your moment.
Let me have my moment. It's been a while since the Twins
I don't mind the Twins either, so it's nice to see that they're doing so well.
above 500,
Yeah.
turning it around. And they have recently figured out what they should have done David Ortiz about 15 years ago, hitting home runs. Jonathan Scoop the other night.
My fantasy player.
Your fantasy player. I think he had a 462-foot bomb to the third deck at Target Field. And for those of you that may not know Target Field, the third row or the third stands that's really, really up there.
Yeah, that's a bomb. Might as well be out of the park at that point.
I watched the replay video, and he stood there and admired that home run for about 3 seconds.
You got to. And
when you crush something that hard.
And you just know, too, right when it comes off the bat, you just know that it's crushed.
As a conventional baseball player who is not huge onto the bat flipping thing, a home run like that, you get to lean on your bat and watch it. Kind of like you would on a cane, just admire it.
Like right after you hit a long drive in golf and you just sit there and admire
You just
it.
watch it.
Yeah.
You get that right when you hit a baseball 462 feet.
I mean, that's how I felt the past weekend at the Beer Olympics event here in Crookston when I was playing Dizzy Bat. I launched it out of the park, and everybody went nuts, and I just admired it.
You just stood there trying to find it because your head was swirling?
Where's that can? Yeah, I was very, very, very dizzy, and I fell over, but it took me a lot of spins to hit that can.
Beer Olympics is the yearly Crookston UMC, I guess I would say, community get-together in terms of college students.
Yeah. It's technically not affiliated with UMC,
At all.
but maybe
Not at all.
maybe if UMC's a wet campus next year, which it's going to be,
It is.
then maybe it might be affiliated with them now. As long as you're 21 plus, it's a college event. Nothing wrong with it.
Can't get in trouble as long as you just don't do anything too stupid. But, you know, it's college, and you're going to do things at college that you typically don't do.
And speaking of colleges, we're going to move on to some regional news. Two UND running backs, both getting professional football looks. You have John Santiago getting a look with the Minnesota Vikings at their mini camp, and then Brady Oliveira from Winnipeg. I used to play against him all the time in high school football.
Did he just wreck your guys' team?
Oh, he would just go nuts on us. Like we only got to play him once, but he took the league by complete storm in my senior year, and they ended up winning the championship and upsetting a powerhouse in St. Paul's in Winnipeg. They're the only private school of football in my hometown, and they have an advantage over everybody else because they can recruit players because they're a private school.
Kind of like Shattuck St. Mary in hockey.
Yeah, it's like that, and everybody else in Winnipeg hates them because of that. Mm-hmm. And he actually got picked in the second round by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers yesterday in the CFL draft. So good for those two guys getting some looks.
So, Zach, I heard that you're going to hopefully get a call to be on a CFL team.
Yeah, so I mean, my name I did not get a call last night.
Sadly,
in the CFL draft.
I had great support in Zach in the CFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, I figured with my position as a long snapper, it's not
greatest long snapper in the 50 states of America.
I would like to think so. Best Canadian one, I would say. I would hope so.
And
I don't know of many other
is it
Canadian
10 provinces
long
in Canada?
Yeah, there's 10. Yeah, there's 10.
Wow, look at me.
Yeah, there you go.
Know my geography.
Good for you. And I've even stumbled on it for a second because I've been here for so long.
Zach Greenberg, the greatest long snapper in the 50 states of America and 10 provincial. I suppose it'd just be the provinces.
Yeah, there we go.
In Canada,
we got it. We figured it out. But
we're done with the school grind.
But I spoke with my agent yesterday, and he told me that to keep my ringer on today, as I might get a call to come to the mini camp coming up in a couple weeks. So the CFL season starts in late June, so I might get the opportunity. And if I do, I'd be very, very grateful of that. And if it doesn't go my way, then I'll try again next year. So
would you say that CFL players get paid pretty decent?
Well, minimum in the CFL is $60,000, so that's pretty good for seeing a season June to November, 6 months. So that's not $60,000 for 6 months. That's $10,000 a month, and then you get the other 6 months off to.
Oh, the CFL football season's June to November.
Yeah, it ends in November. So then you get the other 6 months to
train, do whatever,
work. Sell cars.
Come back to Crookston in the spring.
Maybe to visit.
To do
but not for a semester. I'm not picking up another minor. I'm sorry.
Come on, dude. Just graduate with me.
I'm already graduating on Saturday.
So? You can graduate again.
I could pick up another major and just do it in one semester.
I would.
No, that wouldn't work.
Nah, you could make it work.
Yeah.
If you care about me, you'll do it.
I do, Greg, but life happens.
You're right. Over there. After last year not making it, they officially did qualify, and currently the baseball standings is Augustana, Minnesota State Mankato, St. Cloud, Minot State, Wayne State, Minnesota Crookston, Winona, and I believe Northern is holding out the 8th spot. And it looks like Crookston will play St. Cloud in the first round, Greg, I guess in this term, in the very first game of the playoffs for them, for each other. Unless, I don't know, because there was talk that Minnesota could jump up to the 5 seed, but that won't happen because Wayne State is 5 games above Crookston, and there's only 3 games left in the season. So, I think it's great to see Crookston back in there. They deserve it. I know pretty much everyone on that team, and I'm really good friends with most of them too. And the amount of work they put in this year is testament to what they've done this season, turning around a program such as that, and now they're definitely bringing in the benefits, and couldn't be happier for the guys. They end their season this weekend, so they play 2 games today at 1 and 3, and then tomorrow at noon. Probably won't be back in time for graduation, which is sad, but out there repping.
Poor scheduling, but
every year it happens. You're either home or away on graduation, so it is what it is.
But in other UMC news, the equestrian team is competing in the IHSA Nationals today. So good luck to Selena, who's the only member out there competing. And the NSIC baseball tournament will start on the 8th. So best of luck to the baseball team as the 6th seed when they go.
And I do believe our softball team set a record for wins in a season, which is pretty cool. Just noting that, again, a lot of our sports teams are figuring it out.
Hopefully,
knock on wood, right?
Yeah.
But softball definitely has a lot more wins this season, and they're looking to turn their program around, and I think they're doing great things from what I've seen. So,
I mean, after a season that was completely lost last year, anything's an improvement. But it was nice to see that they could actually put some wins on the board this year.
And we have a little bit different way of ending our show, but I was scrolling through some internet articles, so we're going to do one last Wacky Sports wrap-up. And this one's just so good, we're only going to do this one.
Might as well.
And so the Big 3 tournament going on?
Yep.
Lamar Odom got drafted and said, and I quote, "Getting high not on my agenda," after joining the Big 3 tournament. And for those of you that don't know, Lamar Odom pretty much almost died in a brothel.
Yeah, he's overdosed a couple times now.
No, more than a couple times. But according to TMZ Sports, getting high is not on my agenda right now. And when I was like 32, 33, I just want to get high all the time, Odom wrote, and that's it, just get high, and things got dark as hell. So, and then he found himself fighting for his life in October 2015 after he was found unconscious in a Nevada brothel, like I said, following an overdose. He wound up in a coma as a result, and as he revealed on Kevin Hart's show Cold as Balls last year, around the 8-minute mark saw him suffer 12 strokes and 6 heart attacks.
Yeah.
The fact that this dude's alive.
Yeah, he's been through it.
And
now he's going to play basketball again.
Hey, everyone's got their dream. And, I think that's great. But we're going to wrap it up with a little different way. And this is going to be a reflection period because this potentially may have been our last episode of Calling an Audible. I know there is aspirations by our idealist Danny Johannesson, who helped found this podcast based on principle. And she said that she is very committed to making this show go on, but could be a different co-host.
Yeah, she was talking about making it so since I'm graduating and then you're going to be back another year, then you'll find a junior to join the show with you. And then when you graduate, that junior will become a senior and they'll grab another junior. And then the show will just keep going forever. And I don't know how our producer feels about that.
Our producer,
he's going to be here through all of that.
That means you have to be here forever, James.
Yeah.
But
so that might be where the direction of the show goes, but I'm out nonetheless.
Unless you call in on.
I will definitely call in and do guest appearances. I would be happy to. I would love to, but I think for me to reflect, this show has been a very good learning experience into some broadcasting and some like vocal aspects of sports that I've always been interested in. Like I've done like some play-by-play at softball games, stuff like that here, but this was definitely a different experience, and this is something that I'll be able to take with me. And like if I'm ever applying for a job like with say ESPN, CBS Sports, Fox Sports, wherever, I'll have this that I can point out and use to my advantage one day, and that the same goes for you. So that's just a little bit of a reflection on what this show has done for me.
Absolutely, and I'm going to piggyback on that a little bit. What being able to do this podcast is meant for us is honestly really awesome. Because to be completely honest, this is going to sound a little sappy, but Zach and I, we weren't like very close friends when we were in class, but I feel like throughout doing this podcast for the past 2 years, we actually became a little bit closer. And once we got to know each other, Zach and I are bros for life.
Absolutely.
And it's going to be sad missing him when he graduates and walks down that aisle. But, you know, with knowing that, I honestly think that doing this podcast has been honestly one of the most greatest things Crookston's offered me. The opportunities that I can go from this is endless. And in doing so, I believe that I hope the show goes on. I will do whatever I can to make sure it continues. And I really, really am glad that Crookston has so many great things to offer their students that not a lot of them know about.
Endless opportunities.
Literally endless opportunities.
And people don't always go seek them, but you know, you and I are the type of people that
go out and
seek opportunities, and I think that this show is one of those amazing opportunities. And you know, like I wouldn't have expected coming into college here that I was gonna be a part of a podcast for 2 whole seasons and have it on Spotify and have let people listen to it and access it.
I never would have expected coming out of high school that I'd be doing a sports podcast that actually is on the internet,
right,
everywhere.
And I think that, and like we've got apparel in the works, apparel coming out, and like that'll be good for like our branding for the future. And if and hopefully that the show does continue and that there's funding for it, then there'll be apparel around the school. There can be more apparel ordered, and then it'll just get the word out there even more. And then, you know, maybe one day that other schools will develop something like this too, and it'd be kind of cool to see that. This could be the start of
something big.
Yeah,
just got to make sure we get it there.
A college calling an audible, and it's just be.
We could be our own Barstool syndicate, but not affiliated.
Yeah,
it could be like the idea based on principle. But well, Zach, it's been an honor.
Yeah,
if you want to wrap it up for potentially one final time.
Yeah, for the final time as a host at least, I would like to thank you guys all for joining us here on the last episode of season 2. I'll be graduating on Saturday, so you're not going to be hearing my voice very much anymore. But it's been a good 2 seasons hosting this show. We've had a lot of great guests, a lot of good things to talk about, some arguments, some laughter. I just wanted to thank Danny, thank you, Greg, thank you, James, for allowing me to be a part of this show, and it's been a real good time. And I'll just remind you guys one last time that you can find us on Spotify, Google Play, and YouTube, and then on our Twitter account @CallAudiblePod. On behalf of Greg, our producer James, our creator Danny, myself, au revoir, shalom, and have a great weekend.
Calling an Audible is made possible through the assistance of the University of Minnesota Crookston Media Services Department and executive producer James Pagachnik. The views expressed on Calling an Audible are not necessarily the views of the University of Minnesota Crookston or its affiliates.